Okay, so you're invested in CSGO. Now you're invested in a Fortnite. Who's your next player? What's the next step? You can't tell us the player, but like, do you plan on bringing on more players, or are you starting off with just Thomas, seeing how that?
I think we're going to start off with just Thomas, and then I think obviously what we were waiting a little bit for it was Epic's announcement around next year as well. Like, what is the constellation that we're looking at? You have to remember, like, we are coming from a world, like we're coming from League of Legends 5-on-5, Counter-Strike 5-on-5, Rainbow Six 5-on-5. So we're used to sort of getting very meticulous working stuff like communication, problem solving, cultural psychology among a team, all these different things. That's what we're really, really good at. So we're super excited. Like, just the fact when I remember, like, when Thomas told our sports director that you play trios, but you don't play with teammates, and he was like, "What? Like, it doesn't make any sense to him." It's like pick up basketball, right? You look good, I'll play with you. So I think we're really now I thought it was duos, which I think is going to be an interesting constellation for us. I think what we'll probably try to do is find someone who is the best possible teammate for Thomas, and then try to sort of see if we can actually get to work with these things.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, we'll see.
You can't force two people to play together. We saw it. I want you to look at this up. Look up the TNA guys, okay? They won FNCS in Australia twice. They came to North America, team flew them out. They weren't forced to play together, but they did play together because, I mean, they had won twice on Australia. They shit the bed. They shit the bed again, and then they split. And the first time they split, one of them won FNCS on North America. So it's like you can't force people in Fortnite to stay together. It's just the age is too young. It's not a league. I'm warning you from now, because you might go invest in a teammate, and then they're going to feel the pressure of having to play together because you signed him so that both teammates would be Astralis players, and it's going to fuck you.
We'll see, because I think that this is the fun part, right? Like, in Counter-Strike, we did 5 different things where people told me you can't do it, it's impossible, and then we did it, and it worked. So we'll see.
I think that if anyone can do it, it sounds like it's you guys. You know what I mean? And honestly, I would say that I think that it's not as hard as Air's making it sound to be, because you guys manage teams with 5 people. That's a lot of dynamics on one team. So managing 2 people shouldn't be that much different. But I will say, if this is your first battle royale centric esports you're getting into, there's a lot more variables than just communication. There's a lot of things that just happen, and there's no way to counteract that, if that makes sense.
But look, I think that comes back to the whole system that we build around personality testing, etc. Right? Like we will test what your level of conflict is, and I think so. For example, one of the parameters is you're either red or you're blue.
Right.
So the red person really cares about winning above everything else, and the blue person cares about the environment and how you speak to each other above everything else. So if you put 1 or 2 of those together, they will spend 90% of their time arguing about what is the focus point, how are we speaking to each other. Like, I've tested a player once who was 1% away from being maximum of what the test could do on red. He's batshit crazy. Like, he will kick the other player just to win. Like, he doesn't care about anything else. So what you have to do is you have to find someone who actually fits Thomas.
I get what you're saying.
But we'll see. I mean, it might blow up, but we're definitely going to give it a try.
I'm giving you my perspective, and you have a way different one.
Yeah, and like I said, dude, I think that the reason that you guys could actually make that work is because you guys have the infrastructure around the selection process that, like, you're right, it is like pickup basketball, where these kids just like, they're like, okay, well, I heard you're pretty good. I don't know you. I've never really talked to you or whatever, but the people that watch me say that you're good, or people that I know say that you're good, so let's try it out. So if that's not the approach that you take when selecting a teammate, you might actually find more success, which is just fucking, it makes sense, you know what I mean? Like, these kids that just pick up a random person, you're actually going through psychological testing to make sure they're a match. I think you'll be fine. You know what I mean?
Let me give you another example, because there's a team. You ever heard of Scented?
Yeah, I think so.
FaZe Scented. He was basically like what Astralis was before 2017, before you won your first major. 2017, right?
Yeah.
You guys would always get to semifinal. You get second place or third, and you can never win. He got second place 4 FNCSs in a row. 4 FNCSs in a row. He was a few points off winning. Okay. He played with his teammate for 2.5 years. I mean, they finally split up. They were just like, all right, fuck it. Like, we keep getting second. Like, something's got to. And that's like the best. That is the most consistent team that has ever happened in Fortnite. And he left his day one duo about like 4 or 5 months ago, just because they're like, all right, you know, there's something's got to switch. I mean, granted, 2 years is a long time to stay with someone, so it makes sense. You know, you can find these people as well. You can use that as a case study to find these people that are compatible with someone. But yeah, that infrastructure that you have, I'm sure it could play off well. It's just, I think, just remember that you're dealing with younger kids. That's the biggest
and
thing.
I think the other thing is
you know?
with duos it's harder, right? Because you can't. If at least was 3, you could build a core of 2.
Yep.
And then you could sort of figure out what is the third one. I think 2 is going to be, it's going to be challenging, but I think it's also going to be a lot of fun. I mean, I know Casper is super excited to get into that.